Here at the John Smith Stadium, it's retro night, so fans being encouraged to wear shirts from decades gone by and talk about back to the future. 1971-72 was the last time that Huddersfield were in England's top division. Well, 45 years on, they are dreaming of a return, and it would be to the Premier League. Keith, talking about the two different teams and the two different styles and the two different formations, Huddersfield are at home. They are to beat the league leaders. How key are those three players behind Nicky Wells?
Yeah, I think Kachunga, Izzy Brown in particular, without Dale Stevens in that Brighton midfield, I think they need to be careful. I'm sure that's something David Wagner has concentrated on.
OK, let's get into this one then. Your commentary team, Daggy Hilbotham and Daniel Mann.
Yes, thank you, David. Good evening, all. It really is one for the romantics, this, isn't it? The Huddersfield story, a club graced by some of the greatest names ever in the English game, from Chapman to Doherty to Shankly to Law, have an opportunity, a now realistic hope of achieving the remarkable. It would have been deemed fanciful just a matter of months ago, but elite-level football at Huddersfield Town, no longer a pipe dream after a truly transformative few months. This is their team tonight. Huddersfield are delighted to welcome back Aaron Moy to the starting lineup and the centre of midfield. He missed the league win over Ipswich with a back injury. Rajiv van La Parra made a brief but memorable contribution in Brighton's colours last season, while the attacking qualities of their fullbacks are very noteworthy. Between them, Tom Smith and Chris Lerver have created more chances than any other such pairing in the Championship. Well, for Brighton, their front line features their top scorer this season, 15-goal Glenn Murray, who made his loan move from Bournemouth permanent this week, and Tom Ahmed, who led the way in the previous campaign. He gets the nod because Sam Baldock is not yet over a calf injury. Captain Bruno is back at right back after a spot of groin trouble, while Oliver Norwood in midfield faces a former club. Will both include new strikers on the bench, Colin Quanner of Huddersfield and Chuba Akpom on loan from Arsenal for Brighton. Christian Walton has been recalled for them from a loan spell at Luton to provide goalkeeping cover. Well, they have confounded the unbelievers. They keep on going, and tonight Huddersfield can make a real statement with a victory. Brighton could move into an almost uncatchable position as far as automatic promotion is concerned. 8 points clear of third with a victory. We shall see what happens next. Well, Danny Higginbotham alongside me here. I'm looking at a couple of the potential key men tonight, starting with Huddersfield's Jonathan Hogg.
Yeah, he really is an unsung hero in this eye-catching team that does the dirty work, allowing the full-backs and forward-thinking players to express themselves whilst he protects the two centre-backs. Has missed 4 league games this season, and Huddersfield have only won 1. And as for Brighton, I think with Brighton likely to start deep and compact, it's important that Jamie Murphy uses his pace to be able to get up and support Hammond and Murray higher up the pitch, where Brighton will look to counter. Also a player that's very, very good at running with the ball at pace, turning defence into attack very quickly.
Well, Chris Hughton putting cup disappointment out of his mind and focusing on the priority and catching up with an old friend, Rajiv van La Parra, with Brighton on loan last season. Had a couple of important goals, but they have a mouth-watering cup tie to look forward to against Manchester City here. He was in the cinema when the draw was made and got some very good news when he came out. That one of the features of a frantic February for both of these clubs, and what a critical month it could be in the promotion race. Brighton in the red then to get us underway. Full house against Yorkshire opposition, 18 points from 6 matches. And a very good record on this ground. But a very early worry for Bruno, who hauls down Raji van La Parra.
It's a very positive start from Huddersfield. Van La Parra straight away. You know, as a winger, when you feel as though, when you get that first run, you think to yourself, right, I've got the beating of the fullback, and not just that, Bruno to get a yellow card in under 1 minute. Something that Huddersfield, I'm sure, will look to get the ball to Van La Parra every occasion.
Under 30 seconds up against an opponent he knows particularly well. But it's Aaron Moy poised. Nico Heffeler certainly provides a more than useful target. Defended by Tomer Hemed, who's useful in both boxes in the air. It's Knockout. And that's a gift for Izzy Brown. Brighton do not pay a heavy price. Made quite an impact since he arrived on loan from Chelsea, Izzy Brown. A couple of goals in his 4 starts in League and Cup. Scored from the penalty spot at Rochdale at the weekend. A rare thing for Huddersfield Town this year. They're only one. Bone of contention, perhaps. In towards Van La Parra. Bruno involved again. Huddersfield trying to get on with a quick free kick, but a challenge that left its mark on the key Wells, and the locals baying for blood.
Just has to be very careful there. It's miscontrolled first time, and then he just goes in. Well, it's just one of them ones, you know, whether it be right or whether it be wrong. If he hasn't been booked in that occasion, pretty much guaranteed he would have got a yellow card for that. I think James Linnington, the referee, has taken that into account, whether that right or whether that wrong.
Well, certainly, in many eyes, a touch fortunate. Certainly most eyes in the John Smith Stadium. Already a little rattled and unsettled. Quite very much a team that have focused on their own strengths this season, but they certainly have to very mindful of trying to stop Huddersfield from playing. They're a team that have been very easy on the eye this season, but very hard to play against. As he well knows.
No doubt, and I think the thing that he'll understand as well is that the likes of Murphy and Knockart, the 2 wingers, they will have to put in a defensive shift, because as you previously mentioned, Smith and Lerver play very high, more like wingers than fullbacks.
Danny Ward. It's one that Lewis Dunk will surely meet. Heffeler to guide it back to the day job. After 45 minutes as a front man at Rochdale in the FA Cup of the weekend, grabbed a couple of goals. Had to take a more direct approach on the less than pristine January Cup-type pitch. Good progress here, it's Izzy Brown! It's straightforward for Stockdale.
That's where we talk about the fullbacks, that's Smith, and you see Murphy's the one tracking him back. Smith just gets on the wrong side of Murphy there, great play from him. So the presence of mind just to play the ball. So Izzy Brown who's waiting. That's what Huddersfield are all about, the fullbacks get forward, the movement off the ball is excellent. And Brighton have to be switched on all game, make sure that they don't lose runners.
Here's Hemed. With a foot in there from Schindler. Heffeler away, up to Brown. Now, did they beat the offside? Yes, it's Wells. Lewis Dunk to deal with it.
Taking up some very, very clever positions. Brown, he's just getting in between the midfield and the defence of Brighton, getting on the ball and turn. We've seen it on a couple of occasions now. Brighton have just got to get that sorted, whatever that means. The centre-back's pushing up close to the midfield, because the space between the midfield and defence of Brighton at the moment is just too exposed.
Schindler at the back might get there. Some defending to do. Well, it's a bit of a mess from Brighton's point of view, and it's a moment of misfortune from Huddersfield's point of view. The strike from Raji van La Parra.
It's very unlucky. Initially, when the ball comes in, I think Murray and Stockdale getting each other's way. Stockdale's not able to clear it. Just falls to Van La Parra, and it's an instinctive shot. From his point of view, it's a little unfortunate. We just see here a little bit of a mess between the goalkeeper and Murray. And an instinctive shot. Van La Parra just goes the wrong side of the post. It's been a very good start from Huddersfield, and David Wagner will be delighted with it.
To grab a goal against his old club. It was a brief cameo role last season. Remember one strike from long range down at Loftus Road in a really hotly contested draw just before Christmas. It's forward by Smith. Bunkers across. Well, they've certainly got their work cut out for them. Plenty of liveliness, plenty of clever movement. Izzy Brown, it's Moy. Here's Kachunga. Jamie Murphy very much with the defensive aspect of the game at the forefront of his mind at the moment. Most of their height at set pieces does come from, well, basically Heffler, but Schindler as well. Not too much in that respect from their attacking players. Heffler incurring the referee's displeasure, or at least attracting his attention.
He wasn't letting go. Duffy's shirt. I think that's what Duffy's saying. He's just saying to him, listen, you've got to keep your rack out. He's just keeping hold of my shirt, trying to get an advantage.
Well, that could be a battle royal in these situations. Schindler going to the near post. Heffler trying to get there. Lerver. Brown. All the way back to Jonathan Hogg, who's a very underrated figure amongst those names that have caught the headlines. Duffy away. Here's Moy. Trying to steal away. Rodriguez, his fellow Israeli, Kayal.
Just get a little bit of a breather, because how about it, Brighton have just been non-stop defending. Like I say, it's just time for them to just get the breath. Just trying to slow things down a little bit as well.
Well, the sort of start he would have wished for, without question. Such an energetic style. There is Hamed. Murray hoping to get on the end of that, but it's Hogg safely back. Moy. Reports suggesting Pep Guardiola did consider recalling him to Manchester City in the January window. Certainly been one of the Championship's standout players this season. Almost lost out there to Kayal, however. Van La Parra. Smith wants it. Smith has it. And he'll get another chance too, which he takes! It's his, he says. Wells was in there, but Tommy Smith takes the credit. Well, it has been a brilliant start for Huddersfield, and it has just got even better.
Now, we talked about the full-backs, how important they were going to be. And you can see constantly as Smith, he just wants the ball drifts from one side to the other, he keeps his width. You see where he's saying exactly where he wants the ball. Takes that good first touch, eventually and gets the shot in. But the one thing I will say is the Stockdale will be disappointed to get beat his near post. But also, you can just see here, gets beat that near post, but also higher up the pitch as well. Murphy didn't track that run, and it's been coming with Smith going down that left-hand side. Like I said, I think Brighton will look at a very disappointing goal to concede. But David Wagner will be absolutely delighted.
His second league goal for the club. He struck down at Cardiff earlier in the season. An Englishman amongst a back four with an almost total German influence. Oh. Kayal. Oh, well, if he could have got into a position to feed Murphy, Brighton might have been in. But it's high-octane stuff from Huddersfield again, and it's Kachunga. Moy. Hogg. Moy. On now for Smith again. Skipper again tonight with Mark Hudson not in the 11. It's that rare thing, a quiet, softly spoken Australian, Aaron Moy, but his performances on the pitch scream for attention. New balls, please.
Even the ball's wanting a breather.
Keffeler. Brown. Stockdale with enough time to comfortably clear, but certainly been an uncomfortable ride so far for Brighton. Beaten just 3 times in the league this season. Searching ball from Brown.
Huddersfield a possession, a very much possession-based team. Throughout the season, that's what they've done. They've controlled the play more often than not. And once again, they're doing that this evening.
Foul by Schindler. An opportunity for Brighton to make a rare incursion into Huddersfield territory. Certainly a window of opportunity tonight, but Huddersfield threatening to slam it completely shut. Knocker to float it, Ward to come. Flag was up. Shane Duffy. Painful blow.
Look at the line, the hold in there. Huddersfield fantastic, and they're brave with it as well. As soon as the ball's played through, quite clearly offside.
Moy, Hogg, Hammett. Rajiv Van La Parra, Murray's challenge, Oliver Norwood. Now here's Bruno. And now Anthony Knocker. First time they've got him involved in a really advanced position. But Hogg is there. Work its way through to Wells. He's got Brown one way, Kachunga steaming up on the other side. Lerver. Hefferler. Here's Moy. themselves. All breaks down, but Moyes swiftly in with a challenge to try and maintain the momentum here. Into Murray for Murphy. Strike Hamed. Brighton threatening to get into something like a groove there. Well, Brighton do have plenty of fortitude. They've turned around 3 matches when they've been trailing to win this season. Twice against Fulham, once in front of our cameras just before Christmas at Birmingham. So it's the kind of thing you expect from teams at the top. And they certainly will not panic. Well, Duffy not to be caught out in the end. Forward by Pocognoli, who has claimed the shirt during Gaetan Bong's injury absence, but who knows whether Bong will get it back the way he's performed. Hogg. Now for Murray's way. Moy. Lerver. Brown. Moy. Hamed buzzing around and a little unhappy with the nature of the challenge. Just caught from behind. It's not going to be a crucial talking point. Kachunga. And who might get it back, but away by Murphy. That's Norwood. Moy. Hamed remains down in the centre circle. Moy appears to have made its mark. Here he's on the ball again.
I'm just looking at the way Huddersfield are going about things. They're going down their right-hand side a lot, and what they're doing, they've got a really good partnership, Smith and Kachunga. Kachunga's coming in really narrow, and he's dragging Pocognoli inside the left-back, and that's meaning a lot of work for Murphy to do, and we've seen from the goal and a couple of times Murphy's just switched off. He's having to go for a big shift, controlling all that left-hand side, and it's something that Smith and Kachunga between them are taking real advantage of, and it's something, in my opinion, Huddersfield are just looking to try and take advantage of at every opportunity.
It's interesting the way Kachunga's been deployed this season, because he was very much a central striker at Ingolstadt and Paderborn to his previous clubs. That's where he often featured at the start of the season. But it's a partnership that's proving very productive for them, him and Tom Smith. There's Pocognoli. Brown. Norwood's foot in. Combative midfielder with quality, as is Aaron Moy. Free kick against him. Oliver Norwood with his right foot. There's real quality from these situations, and he'll look towards Lewis Dunk at the back. Trying to get it under his spell, but Schindler in attendance. Bruno getting a little gentle reminder that he was a little fortunate perhaps not to escape a second yellow. Just be grateful to be back out there after a rare injury absence, Bruno. Looks after himself extraordinarily well. Likes to get 9 or 10 hours sleep a day. Has a bit of a siesta to help him achieve that. Spoonful of Manuka honey every day to ward off colds.
But him and Kanokar, they've got a very good partnership as well. We know.
Whoa. And this might fall very kindly for Hemed, who has accepted the gift here for Brighton. Well, they let them in, they've paid the price. Tome Hemed was never going to pass up an opportunity like that. And Brighton out of nowhere a level.
Like you just said, it came from absolutely nowhere. Goal kick, then when it's played back, the problem is they just don't seem settled at all. Murray, the header back as well from Moyes, blind, and then I'm just thinking to myself, Ward, he comes and commits himself in that situation. Does he need to do that? Because what he does, he makes Hemed's decision for him. He knows that all he has to do then is get around him. He's got an open net to put it into. That's exactly what he's done. Very much against a run of play, as you just see there again. And Ward coming out probably makes Hemed's job that little bit easier, and then he puts it into an empty net against a run of play. But Brighton won't care one bit.
But they have that ruthless streak, Brighton. Even when they're not at their sparkling best, they have a habit of being able to chisel out results and take chances. And they have done exactly that there. First attempt of any description.
They'll be so disappointed in the way it happened as well. You know, Moy, I always say, if you're going to head it back, you have to be very careful, and he's just, without really looking, he's headed it back into an area. And then you've got to say that, you know, Brighton have then had the presence of mind to go and squeeze it themselves, but I say, from Huddersfield's point of view, they created their own problems then.
Here's Lerver. Where's that going to run? It's Brown! Oh, and Van La Parra. Vital block by Lewis Dunk.
There's a fantastic block from Dunk. Really work it, just get that little bit of space in the middle again. Falls lovely. Fantastic block from Dunk. But it's just once again them little areas Brown that's looking to get into, and he's done it on a few occasions.
Schindler coming to the near post, but Oliver Norwood stationed there. Van La Parra. Bruno. By Jamie Murphy. Tom Smith threatening us up here. Rallying cry from Mikael Hefele in the back there, just to try and reinstill that vigour and focus. Van La Parra. Now here's Moy. Brown. Oh. Finding Wells, can't spin away from Lewis Dunk, and it is a foul.
Wells once again just looking to try and get down the sides of the centre-backs. I wonder if there's too much in that. Honestly, you can see. Not happy at all with that.
James Linnington, the referee. Trip up from the south coast himself to, well, south of the south coast, Isle of Wight. We won't be getting anything like a lift home. It's Moy. Murray back there. Chunga at the near, Hefele.
they're doing every time, Huddersfield. Getting the corner. Wells is just trying to get as close to Stockdale as he can to stop Stockdale from coming out, and that means the likes of Heffler and Sullivan can come out. Just looking at the goal here, there's question marks. Mikey Wells, is he offside? It's a very, very close call. And the equaliser. Moy will be so disappointed because Huddersfield was so in control, but you've got to say Ahmed, you know, he's had the presence of mind. I think Ward's committed himself. That's made his job easier, made his mind up for him, and he's done the rest.
Even last season, he got a bit of stick from the Brighton fans, despite the fact he was a top scorer and was playing through a few physical issues, but he tends to be very reliable in front of goal. Smith after it again. There's Dunk. Oh, Kyle's after this, and Ward had come a long way again, initially. Moy. Here's Heffler. Complained it was too warm when he arrived at Huddersfield in the summer. Something you'll hear often. But he's become a real favourite here, real cult figure. Pressure on, Bruno finds Knockaert. Oh. Oh, Knockaert feeding Nicky Wells, and could it be costly? Duffy with him all the way, and then Norwood gets it. Well, away temporarily, because Huddersfield can build again. It's Lerver. Van La Parra. Free kick in a tempting situation, conceded by Kayar.
Once again, Huddersfield just looking to try and find that little bit of space in the middle of the field there. And this time, Wells, and it's a good opportunity to play his over the ball as well, the likes of, you know, Moy. There's an embarrassment of riches on who might take it.
When Nicky Wells taking an interest, he did score a very vital free kick against Blackburn, a stoppage time equaliser. Back on New Year's Eve. Moy can hit him sweetly from this kind of range. That's a very colourful sight. Well, we know where the gap's going to appear. It's Wells. It struck Duffy.
Chucked at his wall initially. You know, full credit as well to Knockaert getting out there to make sure nothing can come of the follow-up.
Yes, a couple for the pronunciation police, those two, aren't they? Wells and Knockaert. Wells telling us emphatically that his first name should be pronounced Nuki rather than Naki or Naki.
Leave that to you.
Lerver's corner. Lewis Dunk intervening to important effect with Schindler arriving. Moy. Van La Parra. Lerver. Shane Duffy. Brown, Hogg, Van La Parra. Vital interception there by Bruno as they look to feed Wells, and the counter on here. Although Huddersfield getting numbers back.
See the attempts from Huddersfield. That's the one thing they'll be really disappointed with. David Wagner, they've had so many attempts, only one on target from Brighton, and like you say, Huddersfield caused their own problems with the making of that goal, and that's the one thing, if anything, Wagner will be disappointed so far in this half that Brighton really haven't created anything. They managed to get on level terms.
Van La Parra. Well, Murphy on the end of it, and he'll have to take care of business. Awkward for Stockdale. Just to apologise if you've been offended by any bad language you may have heard on the passionate night at the John Smith Stadium. Possibly rather grateful to be in the position they're in, Chris Hughton and Paul Trollope, given the balance of the game. Heffler having to chase, being put in a bit of a tight spot. And Murray looking to keep him there, but not getting his way. Well, making Danny Ward's life a little difficult there, although it's nearer where he's going to take the kick from, I suppose. Well, we're looking forward to coming back here on Sunday lunchtime for what will be a really compelling prospect. Huddersfield against Leeds, two of the teams of the season in the Championship, 11:30 AM, Sky Sports 2. Kachunga. Heffler. Smith. Poconioli. Brown. Wells. Oh, Dunk steps in. Quite a few of those interceptions that may have proved crucial.
Well, they have been, and I think that's what they've done, Dunk and Duffy, because what you've got to be, it's not so much the man on the ball, it's the running off the ball, and you have to get your positioning just spot on, because Huddersfield plays, the minute they get the ball, they pass it and then they move on, they're looking for the next ball then.
Wells on the chase, and it is a corner. A great complaint. No complaint.
Just looking at Wells as well, he's just trying to stay on Stockdale, stopping Stockdale from coming out, and that means there's space for Heffler and Schindel to come in.
Murray to defend it. Van La Parra went for placement. That's very sharp reaction from David Stockdale, because it got a nick.
That's an incredible save. Firstly, it's a great strike. As you put it, it's calm the way he's played it in, but that is an outstanding save. Not just to save it, but to actually keep hold of it. And he's seen this so late as well. It's a great effort from Van La Parra. But that is brilliant from Stockdale.
Well, Glenn Murray getting a touch on the way through. David Stockdale has really distinguished himself recently in the Brighton goal. Remember that fantastic reaction after the penalty save against Sheffield Wednesday.
He's been brilliant. He's getting the credit that he deserves. He was even linked to Chelsea in the transfer window. He's a very good goalkeeper, no doubt about it. And that's what Brighton's success is being built on at the moment. Strong foundations from the back.
Actually with Huddersfield as a youngster. His passion burns brightly for Leeds United. always a difficult day when he faces them. Smith. And the Para popping up on that right-hand side at the moment. Smith. Brown. Smith again. Now Moy. Cut out by Lewis Dunk. Up to Hemed, the Brighton goal scorer. Moy doing his bit as per usual. Has had a few troubles with the travails of international travels this season. Aaron Moy has taken a lot out of him, his duties with Australia. There's been a bone of contention here. Nothing they can do about it, of course. Para. Moy will get it back. Brown moving into space. Kachunga too. Well, might work its way through to Wells! Oh, a devastating finish! And Huddersfield back in front in style.
It's an incredible finish. I think the build-up once again, the movement off the ball. You can see Wells actually started there, but then he's not content with that. He wants to go and he goes running off the ball. Instead, he just made that little pass, and he's clearly onside. It's Pocognolo that's playing him onside. The ball as it's played through, maybe a little bit fortuitous. In fact, it is. But Wells is there to put the ball into the back of the net. You've got to say that the way the game's been going, they do deserve that. Nothing that Stockdale can do about that. The ball's past him with pure pace before he can even make a dive.
Well, a memorable goal celebrated by David Wagner and Andy Hughes, the first team coach, and a landmark goal, his 100th in English football.
It's the middle areas again that we've been talking about. We spoke about it for the majority of the first half, whether it be Brown going in there, Kachunga, and they've always been able to find space in there, and Brighton haven't been able to deal with that. And yes, okay, but maybe the ball went through to Wells a little bit fortuitously, but like I say, they're trying to create them spaces, and it was an emphatic finish.
Here's Kachunga. And on he goes. Lewis Dunk in the way. It's Moy. Play. Some wonderful sights. Well, they're loving every minute at the moment. They brought back on their heels by that equaliser. It is retro night here, and a few old shirts in evidence. So glad to see you've got in on the theme, Danny, with your outfit this evening.
And I thought I had to, you know. I thought you were leaving me behind a little bit, so I thought, you know, give you a little bit of company.
Harry Ward came and claimed.
It's really interesting speaking to David Wagner as well earlier in the week. I asked him, you know, how do you feel about where you are? Are you surprised? And he said, yeah. He said, you know, we are a little bit surprised, but the one thing and the one motto that he stands by, and he does say it all the time, he says, where we are, people talk about us getting promoted. He says it's not realistic, but it's possible. Have no limits.
Advantage played there because Izzy Brown was taken out. It's Kachunga. Hooked away by Bruno. Brown still down with a pain in his lower back. Ward's got a chase. Very loose from Lerver. Well, he's going to go back here and book Lewis Dunk, who has served 2 suspensions for yellow cards this season, and joins Bruno in the notebook.
You see, Brown just gets there before, and he can have no complaints. And he's been doing really well in that area. And at times, what you've seen is one of the 2 centre-backs actually now trying to come out to stop him, because he has found too much space in between the centre-backs and the midfielders, and he's really been making things tick for Huddersfield.
Well, Huddersfield have had some difficult times at set pieces this season, more notably from free kicks than corners, it must be said, but well, with the type of presence they've got in there, Brighton, a job on here, although they take it short. Norwood. Well, a wasted opportunity.
There was a chance. Huddersfield had switched off and got the 2v1. They really should have made more of that.
Bruno taking it all in his stride. Pantomime villain tonight. Murray up well, Murphy lurking. Dealt with by Smith. First goal of the night. Tell which manager's in charge of the trailing side. The referee just having a word here with Glenn Murray, and he's in a dispute with Nico Heffeler. Choose your enemies a little more carefully, I would think. Heffeler suggesting an elbow was deployed. All's fair in 11 striker and defender contests. Schindler's header. As well as fouled. Duffy frustrated that Brighton didn't get a handle on possession as he moved back into position. Lerver, Kachunga. This Lerver, German for lion. Popular addition he's been here. Recruitment players that I nearly said Jurgen Klopp there. David Wagner knows very well.
Yeah, they are very close, and that's the thing, because you know, with David Wagner, he said that they don't have the budget that some of the teams up there do, so they have to look at different ways. You know, his role within youth football over the years. He said it's brilliant for him bringing youngsters, and he knows how to progress them. But not just that, it's his knowledge of the foreign market as well, and they've been very good with that, as well as bringing young players in.
Young players in the mould of Izzy Brown as well, on loan from Chelsea. Played in the Premier League for both Chelsea and West Bromwich Albion before that. His departure from there, a rather controversial one. Just a little overcooked in seeking out Rajiv van La Parra. No, things are good here. His mission statement really was to forge a team that could turn this club into a stable and competitive one at this level, never mind rising to the one above.
Yeah, and that's the word that he uses all the time, competitive. Can we be competitive? And he'll be absolutely delighted. He has to be given great credit, because for me, what they're doing now, okay, they're having a fantastic season, but this all started in pre-season, getting the work done early, bringing the players in, getting the players used to the way that Wagner wants them to play, and they've all bought into it, and he's been very good in the players that he's brought in as well.
Huddersfield fans are feeling their manager is better than his Bezzy, Jurgen Klopp. Well, then Murray penalised again. He has conceded more fouls than any other player in the league in this division this season. Always used to be Kevin Davis in the Premier League, didn't it? Bruno. By Kachunga. What a player he's been for Brighton, Bruno. Matured like vintage wine. Murray's strike. Well, their goal was a gift. They've really struggled to impose themselves on the game.
Yeah, I think the one thing that they have done is struggled to deal with the movement of the front four, because it really has been brilliant. The players have been interchanging Van La Parra, Brown, Kachunga and Wells. They really have been shifting all over the pitch, and like I say, it's been tough for the back four because the midfield have also found it difficult to cope as well.
It is, and it's just been confirmed that we're going to head into 2 added minutes at the end of this first half. Well, Brighton hunting a mood changer. And that's a foul by Kachunga, and indeed it's going to be a yellow card as well. My first foul, he says.
He's pleading his innocence. There isn't much in it, but you can see how the referee's giving it. It's one of them ones as a player when you're tracking back, you're trying to get out of the way, you don't want to make the foul, but the minute you do, because Kyle's got beyond him, there's only going to be one outcome.
There's a mini dispute here because Nicky Wells picked up the ball and said, well, look, the free kick, the foul didn't happen there, it was way back here. And Brighton players didn't take particularly kindly.
I think, when you've got a player like Knockout on the ball, it's a fantastic opportunity. The players that you get in there, obviously, Hamed, Murray, Duncan Duffy, these are great opportunities for Brighton to maybe try and get level just before half-time.
Norwood's got plenty to offer as well. What have they got up their sleeve here? Away in there, and it's a free header, but the offside flag up against Glenn Murray. Relief all round, I would suggest, the John Smith Stadium.
They are so brave. If you look at that line, you have to be so confident and so strict in what you're doing. You can see there's 2 or 3 players offside there, not just Murray, but as a team, that's something that doesn't just happen. They work on that. Because, like I say, all it needs is one player to go, oh no, I feel a little bit wary here, and drop in, but they don't. They keep that perfect line.
Yeah, they'll give a bit of credit to Andy Hughes, first team coach, who does a lot of the work on the set piece side of things.
Definitely, because like I say, you have to work on that.
Moy, Wells, oh, and Stockdale forced into action, but the ball is forced in. Kachunga extends Huddersfield's lead. And whether it's realistic or not, you feel anything's possible when they're playing like this.
You've got to say they deserve it as well. They've been absolutely outstanding this first half. Once again, it's the movement off the ball. You look at Wells where his starting position is. Always looking, can I get into space? Can I get down the side of the defenders? That's exactly what he does here. He looks and he gets down the side. But Bruno this time, he goes for a strike. Stockdale will be so disappointed, because you either got to try and hold it there or tip it over the bar, and he does neither. But you've got to give full credit to Kachunga, because he's coming in, he's gambling. Stockdale might make that mistake, and he's there to put the finishing touch on it. And you can't say that Huddersfield don't deserve it. David Wagner as well, he's absolutely delighted. And what a first half performance it's been from them.
Top scorer into double figures for the campaign, and it's a bit of a landmark event because it's the first time Huddersfield have scored more than twice in the league this season. It's not one that David Stockdale will look back upon with any great fondness, but Elias Kachunga following up may well have put the game beyond the leaders. McKee Wells putting them back in front after they gifted Tom Ahmed an equaliser. Tom Smith with a deflected first goal, and the Terriers very much in charge here at the John Smith Stadium. At the break, it's Huddersfield 3, Brighton 1. Indeed, a very familiar face stepping into that Brighton midfield. Steve Sidwell replacing Beram Kayal. What do you make of it, Danny?
I just think we talked about it in the first half, didn't we? The gap between the midfield and the defence, and I think Sidwell will probably get in that area because it's been too easy for Brown in particular to get in between the midfield and that defence.
Well, the second half, a serious examination of Brighton's fairly impressive recovery powers this season. Interesting viewing for the man who'll be bringing his team here on Sunday, Gary Monk of Leeds United.
He's done a magnificent job, hasn't he? Absolutely outstanding job. Huge football club, and you know, with every opportunity to get back where they feel they belong.
Doing his bit for public relations as well. Well, that will be feisty, won't it, on Sunday? We'll look forward to that. There's perhaps a bit of revenge being sought by Leeds for recent events in the fixture. Mentioned, well, I'll hold that thought. This is Knockaert. To Hamed, swept away by Kachunga, but only as far as Bruno. Knockaert. Force a corner, but nothing doing. One area that Huddersfield have been very strong, they're usually strong, is down that right-hand side. And do you think there's anything Brighton will be looking to do to try and alleviate those problems in the second half?
I think try and get on the front foot, because I think, you know, Lerver and Smith are doing more attacking than defending, so it's up to Murphy and Knockaert to try and get them going the other way, because like you say, you know, the two fullbacks, they are key because they're the ones that give the main width.
Lerver scampering across. Elias Kachunga, scorer of Huddersfield's third goal, is still down on the floor here. To be into double figures for the season. And his goals have meant a lot to the club this season. This is what happened.
Let's see. I saw one there. Honestly, I'm just wondering just whether he's been stood in the back there. From that point of view, you hope that it's more of an impact type of injury, and it might hopefully be all right. Again, no, he does catch him a little bit at the bottom, but I'm just wondering whether it's actually the way he lands himself. If that's the case, then that is, you know, that's more of a serious issue. He's in a lot of discomfort. The physio just trying to get it right.
He's made a change with Paul Trollope, his assistant manager. Certainly the general pattern needs to alter a good deal if they're to get something out of it.
Well, the one thing that Huddersfield love to do, they love to dominate the middle of the field. And if they dominate the middle of the field, that means then they're going to drag other players in there. It means then the fullbacks are free to get down there. And I think with Sidwell, probably playing more of that sitting role. I'm not saying so much a 4-1-4-1, but you know, the more defensive-minded. You know, hopefully, Krishun will be hoping that them gaps, which we saw were very prevalent in the first half between the midfield and the defence, might not be so much.
Duffy, Sidwell. Izzy Brown. Smith on the move. Murphy with him all the way this time.
Really is difficult, you know, when you look at the attacking threat that Brighton want to have. It comes from Knockaert and it comes from Murphy as well, and it's very difficult because what we've seen at times, Brighton actually a back six with Knockaert near enough at right back and Murphy near enough at left back, and it becomes tough then, because then what you have is Hamed and Murray being a little bit isolated higher up the pitch on their own.
Take by Wells. Finds Hogg. Smith's on his way. So too is Kachunga to provide a little of assistance, using him by not using him. Reaches Van La Parra. Moy outside him, but he'll go for goal. Well, if you like your zeros, it's a good night. We've seen the 100th career goal from Nakhi Wells, a 500th club career appearance for Steve Sidwell this evening. What a great servant he's been to a number of clubs.
Yeah, fantastic player, had an outstanding career and still going strong.
High point of the season, I'm sure will always be that moment on the 5th of November at Ashton Gate. Extraordinary goal from long range with his weaker foot. Towards Murray. Knockaert. Murphy. Pocognoli in support. It will be a Brighton corner.
It's the first real time that we've seen one of the full-backs for Brighton being able to get forward, Pocognoli, and like I say, that's what they need to try and do. You know, stop Lerver and Smith in particular from getting forward, try and send them back towards their own goal.
Duffy and Heffler in a real match-up on the back post. Solid fist by Ward. Pocognoli. Balls now. For Smith, the captain tonight. He has been on a number of occasions this season with Mark Hudson's injury issues. He should well be penalised. One in the kisser for Aaron Moy.
No intent there, and so he's just trying to put his arm across. You can see it's a sore one for Moy, and it is a foul, but it's nothing more than that. And just looking at Brighton as well, it looks as though they've gone to match up against Huddersfield, going 4-2-3-1 with Sidwell and Nord in there, just to try and get that little bit of solidity.
Looking for Schindler, who just pulled away. Well, it's cannoned off him. Heffler! Izzy Brown! Another opportunity, maybe. Well, Shane Duffy got in the way. It was very important as well. Tumbling backwards, and you can see what Izzy Brown thinks of it. A real opportunity missed in the end. Brown. Well, Hogg was determined there, but a little too determined as he grabbed hold of Glenn Murray.
Another chance for Huddersfield. Brown this time. They don't really clear the lines, Brighton, and then it falls to Brown. I'm not too sure how much Duffy knew about it, but he was in the right place at the right time. So that was a certainty to be 4-1.
Took the wind out of his sails a touch. What an extremely good signing he's proved to be. Great partnership with Lewis Dunk. Vocal as well, Duffy. He's just got a bit to say to the assistant on this near side. Moy. Kachunga. Moy. Hassled by the former Huddersfield man Norwood to no avail. Kachunga. Brown. Just allowed Bruno to nip in. Lerva couldn't make the challenge. That could be useful. Knockaert just got away from it. And, Christopher Schindler was able to step in there for Huddersfield. Brighton free kick in the end. Wells on the receiving end. Sidwell. Norwood. Oh, and that will invite Van La Parra in, who evaded Duffy's challenge. 4 against 3 here. Van La Parra plows his own furrow, and Stockdale having to turn it behind.
It's a good save from Stockdale, but Brighton have to be so careful because Huddersfield, they are 100 miles an hour. They will not let you settle. You know, once again, Brighton have lost the ball in their own half. So it's fantastic play. Just trying to make that little space for himself, Van La Parra, and it's a good save from Stockdale at the near post. A good strike and a good save.
Van La Parra ushered away after he made the offer for the short one. Brighton very strong in terms of defending those kind of situations. They've only conceded 1 goal from a corner this season in the league, and that was because David Stockdale slipped over. It wasn't anything to do with their organisation. Tussling. Schindler's won it. Moy. Wells on the move. Here's Brown. Kachunga. Get it back, Moy. Really on with Norwood's presence. Smith. Here's Hefele. Smith. Too much of a stretch there for Van La Parra, but they're playing with a real sense of poise and confidence. That's a Brighton ball. Smith. Kachunga. Pocagnoli in close attendance. I've got plenty to shout about round here. Foremost force in English football, back in the 20s, won 3 successive league titles. 45 years since they played at the top level. Era of the great maverick that was Frank Worthington. Bruno. Bruno. Murphy. Pocagnoli's on the move, but Murphy taking the central route. Not keen to be held to his feet there by Kachunga, was he? Smith. Here's Jonathan Hogg. Schindler. Duffy. Van La Parra got there, it's Brown. It was on, it didn't quite come off in the end, Sidwell. Brighton full of invention, the Huddersfield side. His blueprint, which I should imagine owes a heavy debt to that of Borussia Dortmund. It's his idea to mix that with the best of British.
That's not the question, do you stick to your principles all the time? He said there's been 2 times this season, he said, away in the FA Cup against Rochdale and away against Cardiff. But other than that, he believes in the way he wants to go about things.
Wells unhappy, but it will be a Brighton free kick.
Just tried to roll Cagnoli there, tried to use his body. Foul's gone against them.
Okay, at Cardiff, there were one time they've used 3 at the back from the start this season. They wanted a bit of extra height in the side. Day of set-piece inquests, as I recall, although Phil Billing did score a tremendous goal, a substitute that day who's seen a fair bit of action from the start lately. Seeing a bit of action for the first time in Brighton colours, Chuba Akpom, signing on loan from Arsenal. Looks as though he's going to make a double change imminently as Aaron Moy gets on the ball. Wells.
His movement's fantastic. All he's looking to do all the time, can he get down the sides of the centre-backs? He gets himself in great positions and then opens himself up. It's that little yard, a good strike, just always going wide and Stockdale look comfortable. Like I say, once again, it's the movement of the forward plays for Huddersfield causing all types of problems.
Solly March and Chuba Akpom, the 2 players who are coming on. Jamie Murphy, who may be at the centre of the Brighton inquest about the first goal tonight. And Tom Ahmed, their goal scorer, coming off. Chuba Akpom has had a season affected by injury. Was part of the Hull squad that got promoted from this division last season, although not without a few moments that displeased Steve Bruce. Maybe has a little bit of a point to prove at this level, but Chris Hughton has been an inspiration for most of his life. They went to the same school in East London, where naturally they reflect a great deal on Chris Hughton's exploits. Jermaine Defoe, among others, Tom Chidozie, Martin Ling. It's a good place to go if you like your football.
It's not bad. Just talking about Akpom, I think the one thing that Chris Hughton said is that he's got the pace to get in behind, but what he does need to do is get used to the way we want to play.
Lerber's cross, dunk away. Here is Solly March. Oh, into trouble. Smith. And there's just no way out for the team in red at the moment. Rajiv Van La Barra. Duffy in control.
The problem that they're having, Brighton, because they're under so much pressure, there's no one really looking to stretch the game, so they can't beat the press by going over it. You see Murray, he's dropping deep because he wants to get involved, and it was the same with Hamed, so therefore you've got all your plays in your own half. Whereas if you get the ball and you have got a couple of players that want to stretch it, you go long that few times, and eventually Huddersfield, they're going to have to drop off, but it's not really been the case so far this evening for Brighton. They've not been able to affect Huddersfield. And Huddersfield, like you say, they're one of the best pressing teams in this league, if not the best.
Forward. Here's Pocagnoli. Out of play. Well, it's not happened for Anthony Knockart tonight. He's got a very good record against Huddersfield. Indeed, while there was all the talk of the scorpion kick over the New Year period, he actually produced one here himself in Leicester colours a good few years ago now. Towards Wells. Brown. Well, Lewis Dunk has been booked. Well, it's interesting. We will never know, but how that has affected the referee's judgment here.
Again, you know, you see as the ball's played through, it's just on. It's a late challenge. I think Brown, he's been a real thorn in this. Right inside the position he's been taken, there's a real sense of frustration.
Well, he is going to send him off. He's given himself plenty of time to think about it. But Lewis Dunk dismissed, and Brighton's night gets worse and worse.
I think the one thing he's done there, James Linnington, the referee, he's given himself time. You know, he's had a good think about it, and you know, obviously he's not happy about it, but I don't know whether there can be any real complaints. You know, the ball's gone, and then it's a late challenge. You see, as it's coming in, there's a real sense of frustration here, and then Brown gets there first. For me, it's without question, it has to be. It's a second yellow card. It's a late challenge, Brown, and for me, it is frustration, but I don't really think there can be any complaints about it.
Well, he missed some very important games, both against Middlesbrough last season because of red cards, Lewis Dunk.
He's a very important player for Brighton, one of the standout players for them. You know, like you've talked about, we talked about the back four, how strong it is, and okay, they've conceded 3 goals, but I don't necessarily think it's been the back four. It's been as a unit, because the movement from Huddersfield has been so good that the centre-halves, if you're a centre-half in this situation, Duffy and Dunk, they've not known when to go, when not to go, and you can see Dunk is talking to Andy Hughes now and trying to plead his innocence.
Huddersfield first-team coach there, Andy Hughes. Well, I suppose it's easy to comfort him in the Terrier situation.
In them situations, you know, when you get sent off, you're always going to be frustrated. But, you know, I think when he does look back, it's a frustration challenge. You know, he doesn't get the first one, and then the second one. It's been very difficult for them, and sometimes that's what can happen. There's no doubt, and he's a very good player, but like I say, he'll be disappointed, I think, when he sees that again.
Well, Bruno to centre-back, as we've seen earlier in the season, and Steve Sedwell to right-back. Brighton, having used all 3 substitutes, have just got to stick with what they've got. Well, it's not been the greatest of weeks in what has been so far a fabulous season for Brighton. If they do succumb to defeat tonight, they would still be on course for a total of around 99 points. James Livingston giving himself plenty of thinking time.
And he's in a fantastic position as well. You know, look at that, he can see that perfectly. And it is, you know, it's Brown's won the ball and it's the follow through, and that's the thing you're always going to get with referees. When you're following through like that, it's seen as dangerous, and you know, it is going to be a yellow card, and obviously Dunk's second yellow card leading to the red.
Well, Izzy Brown was on the receiving end of that challenge, and he's not moved anywhere as well since. Well, they've got a fellow Chelsea loanee ready to replace him in Casey Palmer. Well, he's quickly, this is only his 5th game, remember, since he arrived on loan from Chelsea. He's quickly become a favourite here, Izzy Brown. Goal against Ipswich, penalty against Rochdale in the FA Cup as well. Casey Palmer, who has been inconvenienced by a hamstring problem recently, able to get back into the groove.
It's been excellent, Brown, and you know, for Palmer to come on as well, he's been outstanding. Obviously been out with an injury, but I just was listening to Brown when he did his pre-match interview, you know, when he spoke to us earlier, and the way he spoke, such a mature player, you know, and you can see his maturity on the pitch as well. He's, say, for me, he's been a real standout player this evening. His movement has been very, very tough for the midfielders or the defence to get hold of. And have to look at Huddersfield there, total passes. That's what they want to do. They want to dominate the game. I think this season, I think there's only been 3 games where they've had less possession. Lost 2, won one of them, and one of them was including the 5-0 defeat away to Fulham.
Here's Akpom looking to make an impact. It's very much mountain to climb rather than uphill battle with only 10, but only need one chance to get a bit of a foothold and get the nerves jangling a bit. That said, you don't really see one coming quickly, do you?
You don't. I've been so impressed every time I've seen Huddersfield this season. Not just the movement off the ball, but their energy. The way when they lose that ball, how quickly they go to win it back, can they? And they don't just go individually. And that's, once again, you know, you talk about the training ground with the manager, the likes of Andy Hughes as well. That has to be worked on the pitch in order for everybody to fall in line with it, and it's brilliant to watch.
Kachunga. Moy. It's very much on their terms at the moment. Palmer. Oh, beautiful burst away.
It's great watching these players. You know, you've got the lone players from Chelsea and things like that. The way they've all, you know, taken to this team, there just seems to be a real innocence of youth. The way that they play with the freedom, and it is so refreshing and so good to watch. Like you say, the defenders though, It's so tough because you can find yourself marking 2 or 3 different players within a game.
Heffeler's hiding here behind Casey Palmer. Real good target in there. Shane Duffy away. Moy. Was Heffler impeded? It's Duffy away. Smith. Van La Parra. Murray on the defensive. Well, if he's satisfied with one aspect of the week, that's sealing his permanent move from Bournemouth. His time on the sidelines there certainly has made him appreciate his football a good deal more, as he'll admit. But he's a man who could ultimately prove to make a substantial difference for a team that missed out on automatic promotion on goal difference last season. Pom after it. Clear foul by Hogg. It's made its mark there on Chuba Akpom. Knockout over the free kick. Wards.
Also, we talk about the high line. When they're playing that high line, it gives room for the goalkeeper Ward to do that, and they do really well.
Here's Palmer. They've got options either way here. Kachunga. Palmer. Oh, and Steve Sidwell there, ahead of Aaron Moy, who on another day might have been able to pick up the scraps.
It's just a real joy to watch the movement, the way they get involved there, Kachunga and Palmer. Palmer just holds his run. Stockdale spills it. Fortunately for him, Sidwell's there to clear the danger.
Well, they were so impressive last time we saw them at Norwich on Sky Sports, and this is another level again, really. Well, maybe punished here, Brighton, but Hogg can step in. Hogg. Kachunga, Smith. They're enjoying every minute now. Smith. Well, we're very busy in the EFL at the moment. We've got another game live for you tomorrow night as Wigan take on Sheffield Wednesday. Just outside the playoff places at the moment, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Mix. And if you want to hear more about the EFL, then listen to our EFL Weekly podcast with Jonathan Oakes. We've got Dean Smith of Brentford, Adam Hamill, once of this parish, now of Barnsley, and Russell Slade on the programme this week. Russell Slade, the Coventry boss, and we'll see them in the Checker Trade Trophy next week, won't we? Van La Parra coming off. Joe Lolly, who's certainly got a trick or two coming on. Schindler. All the way to Smith. Moy. Palmer. Nathan Hogg again. It'll be interesting what Gary Monk has made of this. His Leeds team getting a fine victory at Blackburn last night. Shaking off the FA Cup disappointment. Here's Knockaert. Well, on a good night for Brighton, that simply doesn't happen. Here's Joe Lolly, who just loves to go at people. It's going to be a yellow card here.
So many players like that, they can even bring players off the bench that are direct, exciting to watch, get at defenders, midfielders, and it's just really difficult to deal with because they're coming from all different angles.
Not a memorable return to Huddersfield for Oliver Norwood. Here's Smith. Lervet. Kachunga, Moy. Well, they want him to shoot. He's obliged. Oh, he's so unfortunate. Well, I told you he could hit him.
We weren't wrong. Once again, they work the ball really well. You see Moy, obviously they're down to 10 men, Brian. They can't really get anybody out to him. What a strike that is. Fantastic strike. Just goes the wrong side of the post from Moy's point of view.
Did score a pearler at Leeds earlier in the season. Murray. Schindler out to him.
You have to look how dominant Huddersfield have been. It tells you that the score is a real reflection. The amount of chances they've had 7 on target, and Brighton's they only had 1, you know, so they have been a complete dominant team really from start to finish. They've been excellent.
Bustling around to try and make something happen. Jordan Rhodes was on the score sheet. This time Huddersfield beat Brighton here. Very much in the news this week. This new club live for you, as we've mentioned, at Wigan tomorrow night. Here's Hefferlet. Moy. Kachunga. Looking for Smith. He's racing to try and get on the end of something in the middle as well, but it was not to be. Lolly. You have half an idea what he's going to try and do. Palmer. Oh, Palmer's won it. Kachunga. Knockaert buzzing around. Moy. Palmer. He's away from Sidwell too. Duffy able to guide it to relative safety. Moy. Wells, Bruno to meet it.
Back to one of the many opportunities Huddersfield have had. He's caught this. It's an outstanding strike, and if that had gone in, you couldn't have said that it didn't reflect the score because they have been just so dominant.
Well, here's a new face as far as the EFL is concerned. Colin Quanner, German under-20 international. He's 25 now. Signed from Union Berlin, replacing Nicky Wells, who restored Huddersfield's lead in the first half with a beautifully taken goal. He's big and he's powerful, Colin Quano. I mean, one thing that has been level at Huddersfield at times is maybe a lack of physical presence in that area.
I think what it enables you to do, you know, if things aren't working, it means you can change things a little bit. Because what a lot of teams do when they play against Huddersfield, they have to give up something, and usually it's the width. And sometimes, you know, they want to get the cross into the box, but they haven't got a physical threat there. But you know, he gives them that. And I think from David Wagner's point of view as well, now it's fantastic he's been able to take off some of his, you know, best players, most important players, to give them a little bit of a breather, because obviously their next game's just round the corner.
Seeking him out here. Lolly. Moy making a move. Quana. Swapped to one promotion race for another, because Union Berlin were doing very well under Jens Keller in the second tier of German football. It's a transfer merry-go-round that's worked in Huddersfield's favour, because they've of course just signed Sebastian Polter from Queen's Park Rangers. Hefele, Palmer, Moy. Chris Lerber's got on the move. Sidwell in the way. Determination to keep it in play at 3-1 and a position of real comfort against the 10 men. Well, it is a real statement, this. There's a big cup tie to think about. All kinds of possibilities for this team that with this victory will surpass last season's total points tally. That's how significant an improvement it's been. 3 months of the season to go.
I think the big thing is that there's a real identity about them. Every single player knows what's expected of them. They come on with substitutes, players starting the game, they know, and you can see that goes from the amount of work that they do on the training ground, the little things they do. So when they've got an evening game, they train in the evening. You know, they adapt to everything. And for me, like I say, it's when you speak to David Wagner, he's sort of he tries to think outside the box. I think that's what we're seeing now with a lot of the top managers doing that same thing.
Well, it is a very German thing, that training at kick-off time. We had an interesting conversation with club legend Andy Booth about it, because I heard it. Andy Booth always used to have a nap about 3 o'clock, and when I didn't feel quite sharp as he should do on a Saturday.
It's a good point. And it also as well, you know, I was speaking to him before the game, and he was saying this, and he goes, I don't care how old the player is, I still believe that any player can be improved. I said I will take them one-on-one and go through things, and it's great because players are eager to learn, they're eager to get better all the time and take responsibility, and that's what I think the manager does. He says to the players, you know, how do you want to solve this? And it's brilliant.
Well, Quana looking to get away. Kachunga's arriving at a real rate of knots. Hasn't quite got his eye in. He's a big lad. I watched every single goal he scored yesterday in his club career, and I didn't find a single header.
Well, that's very unstereotypical, isn't it?
I don't know what the major observation is from that, whether I should find something better to do. Or...
I was about to say you got too much time then, haven't you? Obviously, if you're doing that.
Palmer. Lolly. Smith. Lolly. Hogg. say, Quana did score one absolute beauty with the outside of his right boot from range fairly recently. So he got plenty of finishing power. Well, it's been a dominant Huddersfield performance, and I'm sure plenty of contenders for your man of the match. Danny, who have you gone for?
There is a number of ones. You look at Moy, you look at Pels, players like Van der Parra. But for me, I'm going to choose a player that came off the pitch quite a while ago. Izzy Brown has been absolutely outstanding. He was the star of all his movement. Brighton didn't have an answer to it. You know, we talked about it in the first half, the midfield and the defence. The defence not wanting to commit themselves, him getting behind the midfield, and he was the one that started it. And okay, yes, he hasn't played the full game, but for me, absolutely outstanding.
Well, Jose Mourinho, when he was at Chelsea, said if Isaiah Brown doesn't become an England international, it will be his fault. Not that he's got a lot to do with it now, of course.
Yeah, he said that about a few players, didn't he? The likes of Loftus-Cheek as well. So, you know, big.
Palmer's on the move. Fancies this! Stockdale needs to produce.
It's a good save from Stockdale, but once again, he's getting in them areas. Palmer's taken over from Brown, just looking into them little gaps between the midfield and defence. It's a good save from Stockdale, but you know, I just love the way the Huddersfield players, they always seem to find space, you know, when you don't think there is any. And they play with a real sense of freedom, not more so than this man about to take the corner as well, Moy.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, he impresses even more with every game you see him play.
Then what you have to do then is give great credit to the manager, because in my opinion, a sign of a good manager is getting a player and make him actually better than what he is.
Kachunga. Lerva's still hungry, here he is. Lerva, a player who was good enough to reach the Borussia Dortmund first team. Giving him, David Wagner's good friend, opportunities even in the Champions League. Bruno has won that, but it is a foul on Kachunga.
Good play. Once again, Kachunga, they're also comfortable with the ball at the feet. Ends up being brought down, and it's a fantastic position for him as well, and no doubt they'll be fancying the chances to test Stockdale in the goal.
Everybody heading up. Looks as though Casey Palmer has taken ownership of it. Again, plenty of Huddersfield players in and around the defensive wall as Palmer takes it. Actually took his first footballing footsteps, if you like, at Charlton Athletic before Chelsea swooped. Well, it's not been a great week, but when they do have that rare slip, they bounce back quickly. They've got a game at Brentford, who have beaten them already this season at the weekend.
They were very impressive against Aston Villa early on in the week. But like I say, Chris Shooting, you know, when you speak to him, he doesn't get too high and doesn't get too low. So yes, okay, this is a defeat against an exceptional Huddersfield team on the evening. They've been quite brilliant. Chris Shooting will take it for what it is, pick up the pieces, look at where they could have done better, and then they'll go again.
Well, as an amateur footballer, he trained as a lift engineer or escalator worker, so he's got a great perspective on life's ups and downs.
Of course, and only you could know that. But he has, and I think, and that's exactly what it is. It's a perspective, and it's putting things into perspective. They've had a fantastic season so far, and you know, Chris Shooting will look at that and goes, "Okay, we've been beaten. What's our reaction all about?" And that's what it's always. That's what you have to look at it. In defeat, look at reaction then in the next game.
One thing to remember is that Brighton in no danger of losing their lead at the top with this result. After the communication breakdown between Kieran Clark and Carl Darlow last night. Kachunga. Still putting his foot down. Moy. Rolly again. He certainly won't have enjoyed Brentford's success the other night as a big Aston Villa fan, Joe Lolly. Certainly an interesting fixture for Brighton to try and pick up the pieces. Having already gone to the Amex and recorded a victory. Full of confidence. Hotter didn't half look hot midweek.
He did, and Weber as well. Their movement, you know, when you look at their front four as well, movement's absolutely brilliant as well from them. So that'll be another tough game for Brighton.
Wins it over. Well, unless you're a Brighton fan, it's impossible not to be thrilled by the energy and the exuberance of this Huddersfield side, who have surely produced their best performance and best result of the season here tonight. And Izzy Brown, a key figure in it all. Elias Kachunga with the goal that ultimately gave them the breathing space after an outstanding finish from the Key Wells and an opening goal from Tom Smith. Tom Ahmed was gifted an equaliser in that first half, but parity did not last long for a Brighton side who really failed to impose themselves all night and saw one of their key figures, Lewis Dunk, sent off for 2 bookable offences. David Wagner has suggested perhaps promotion isn't realistic, but it certainly is very possible. And if they can continue to produce performances like this, well, the possibility just will grow and grow and grow and grow.